Even more Pokemon Pokopia news has dropped in the last day or so, with 3 new TV commercials or trailers, a new side quest screenshot which I found really interesting. We also know there are 300 Pokemon coming to the game at launch, and there's a bunch of Pokemon Pokopia merch available. Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. We are going to be breaking down some trailers and reacting and analysing them today, taking a look at some new screenshots and some new tidbits of information that have surfaced for Pokemon Pokopia. So I hope you enjoy it. Please leave a like on the video if this is something you're into, subscribe if you're new, and let's get straight into it. Now, starting with the TV commercials and ads or trailers, the latest ad was aired yesterday, I believe, so let's take a look. So it starts off with some familiar footage that we've actually seen from a couple of previous trailers of the Pokemon Pokopia teams, and a Lapras here which is just going to be swimming across, and I'm going to pause it here because it gets through some gameplay pretty quickly, but we saw the Lapras surfing there, which is really cool. It's just so cute seeing like a Ditto Lapras, but here we actually see the player using the Hitmonchan ability, a punch or something like that, to get through some of the terrain here to open up the path. And again, we're jumping into a water gun from Squirtle, which we've probably seen, I think, in the original trailer. Same with Charmander here. So we're just seeing some encounters. And this is an example of how we encounter Magikarp, something I think we have seen as well. It's getting hard to keep track of what we have and haven't seen here, but as you can see, if you place a stool or a log stool next to the fishing rods, a Magikarp will spawn, and that's how you go about creating that habitat to encounter Magikarp. And here we see a whole bunch of different Pokemon encounters, the starters, Pikachu, Executor, a whole bunch of different Pokemon. We're chopped there by the rock, just giving us plenty of examples of what it's going to be like and kind of the terrains we need to be in to encounter different types of Pokemon. And of course, the trailer comes to a close with the classic title screen and some of the multiplayer characters skipping there. So we've seen a bit of this before. Some of that was new. We definitely saw some new Pokemon in there as well, which puts up the count of how many Pokemon will be in the Pokédex, but more on that in a second. Next up, some gameplay of encountering a Hitmonchan surfaced on socials, which I thought would be cool if we go through. So it's just about a minute of gameplay. It does say there screenshots and game footage from a product in development and not final. Actual gameplay experience may vary, but I think we're pretty close to a finished product here. But anyway, as you can see, it says here, this sparkle is a trace of a Pokemon. So if you see a sparkle, that means a Pokemon has been there, or you can encounter one, and you can use your Pokédex to bring up even more information about the habitat. And as you can see here, it's saying where to find it. Check the boulder shaded tall grass, which is really cool. Here we can see the character opening the pockets and eating a berry, which will actually increase the PP. So we're getting a little insight into the mechanics of the game as well. So fully recovered PP, which is really cool. So it's nice that we can use the berries on ourselves. I guess we are a Ditto after all. But here we're picking up a punching bag and actually moving it over to the bench here, which is a way of creating a habitat. And this is the habitat that actually attracts Hitmonchan. So placing the bench next to the punching bag, and basically says you've restored an exercising habitat, and you open the Pokédex and can spawn. Of course, you can see there Hitmonchan. Moving on now, we actually have another ad that came out a couple of days ago, and it's actually a sing-along song. It's really catchy. You've probably already seen it on socials, but we'll go through it anyway. I probably won't play it all for like copyright reasons, but it starts off with the Switch 2 logo. And as you can see, it's really, really catchy. It shows off some gameplay and some people just enjoying Pokemon Pokopia and some of the Pokemon highlighted on screen. And then transitioning into where they are in the Pokemon Pokopia world. Anyway, it comes to this point here where the Pokemon Center there, you can even see a Porygon, which is really cool, and some of the other Pokemon and main characters there. So just a really cool ad. There's not really much to react to this here, and we can't actually play the full song, but I just wanted to include it for the sake of completeness. And it does come to an end there with a rather sad looking Pikachu. It's going to attract a wide demographic, this game, and honestly, if they're putting in money to make ads and songs and sing-along things, this is just going to be a huge game. Now moving on to a screenshot before we look at the awesome Pokopia merch that is available. We saw the Pokédex in the last video, and now we're taking a closer look at one of the apps on the Pokédex, which is called Collection, and of course it is inspired by Gimmighoul, which is just really cool. I didn't notice it to start with, but it definitely is. And if you go inside here, we have ancient artifacts, human records, highlight reel, recipes, items. So this is basically the inventory for all of the collections. It also means, or basically confirms, that fossils will be a thing, so we'll be able to hopefully find fossils, resurrect them maybe, and get some ancient Pokemon, which is just super cool. So I just wanted to include that because it's really cool to see new UI and different areas of the menus and things like that. Now, with Pokemon Pokopia fast approaching, it's like less than 2 weeks away now. As you'd expect, a whole range of Pokemon Pokopia merchandise has hit the shelves or will be available in the coming weeks. And here is just a small list of some of the awesome stuff available, mostly at the Pokemon Center, and some are pre-order bonuses and things like that. But of course we have the Pikachu, the Moslax, and the Professor Tangrowth plushies. There's even a reversible plushie there, a cast form, I think Sunny and Rain forms, the weather Pokemon, really cool as it kind of turns inside out. You've got the Ditto human characters, there's a pillow or a cushion. Here is something really cool, the Pikachu lamp, or the Pikachu lamp or nightlight. That's just so cool because it kind of glows much how Pikachu will in the game. We've got some towels, some other kind of ornaments and toys, and a collection tin. And that is just some of them. Going on again, we've got lots of stationery, a Pokédex notebook, notepad, bookmarks, folders, stickers, you name it. And most of this, if it's not already listed, will be available upon launch of Pokopia over on places like the Pokemon Center. So definitely keep an eye out. And finally, as a little bit of trivia just to wrap the video up, it does turn out there's going to be about 300 Pokemon available at launch when Pokemon Pokopia goes live. We know this because Espeon has been seen in the demo and also in various advertisements at this point, and I think it was number 284 in the Pokédex, so just shy of 300, confirming at the very least 284 Pokemon, most likely at least 300 Pokemon, and that is at launch. We are expecting DLC, we are expecting updates and events and things like that, adding more Pokemon. This game is going to be absolutely huge, so when Gen 10 drops, there's going to be more Pokemon added, no doubt, future events and things like that. I am sure Pokemon are just going to keep being added to Pokopia, new abilities, new areas, new terrain, stuff like that. So this really is a game to watch out for, but I just wanted to include that because we haven't really mentioned it yet. And 300 Pokemon, honestly, for a spin-off title is actually a pretty impressive number and something that's probably only going to grow. And one final thing here, as I was editing the video, I actually stumbled across this picture of the plushies we mentioned earlier that you will be able to get from the Pokemon Center once Pokemon Pokopia launches. We of course have the Professor Tangrowth, which is super cool, the Pikachu, the awesome looking Pikachu, and the giant Moslax. So I just wanted to share this picture too because it's super cute, gives you a sense of scale, and yeah, they're really awesome and they will be available very soon too, so watch out for those. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed kind of reacting and breaking down some of the trailers and going through some of the latest information. Let me know what you thought, and yeah, don't forget to subscribe.